Today we are switching out my dad's little dump cart here. It has seen much better days, I would think.
She's been abused and used.
Used and abused and put away dirty. Literally. He had it chained together in the back underneath and on the top up front, and ratchet straps holding it together here, but we got it's a little 12-foot box. We actually last year were able to get another used one, and now it's starting to rain. But yeah, as you can see, it is too far gone to weld, and you have that.
Too much, we'll put it inside. We'll cut it everything off, get all the bolts loose.
And we don't have an excavator to pull it off, so we're gonna have to use the loader, because the Deere engine just showed up today finally, and the Volvo is at Woods.
Not supposed to.
Woods Repair. I don't know what the initials are, but it's our Volvo dealer in Vermont, and it's getting the center bearing rebuilt.
Yes.
Gears rebuilt. Whatever it's clunking like crazy and barely wants to turn, so it's not good. And that was just a job we did not care to undertake because we had too much going on anyways. Christoph torched that side. This side was already broken.
So that light held it on.
That little light that Christoph just torched off. You don't see those pins normally come out like that.
Wow. If you see this much play, you got plenty of grease.
I mean, this pin ain't wore out at least.
No?
No. But everything else is. Well, I know it moves. I hit it in a little bit, so we just gotta get a punch or something on the other side. All right.
Yeah, I'll go find a punch in there. It's not. I don't think it's gonna work. It's too much.
He got it moved about quarter inch.
I'm gonna have to beat it back in and clean. Cut all the threads. I'll cut it and clean it, and then maybe get back.
Goes one way easy.
Yeah, I gotta.
This thing has seen its life. I got this pin out. You can see right there. Christoph's on the phone. So I had a torch. Where is this? I had to torch the tip of that off a little. There's some weld marks. It wasn't letting it come out. So the back's good. Now we just gotta undo 4 or 8 bolts in the front to disconnect the piston. And then we're gonna take the piston off separately after, and then deal with that when the box is in our way, so we can lift it off nice. Because I think the other box that we got, it's not in amazing shape, but it's a hell of a lot better shape than this. It'll last us years for what we do with it. And I think that one has a piston, and then this piston will end up going, yeah, you see that little green tank there with a frame? We have a blue box that's right behind the R that I think that box is going to go on that frame, but we really don't want to put it on that frame because the box is a little bigger. It's a 14-footer. But we did find out that's a heavier duty running gear than this one, so we might put it on if we can get the time. But we're going to at least get this one switched over because this is the fast one to do. The other one we got to weld the railings on and design everything. This one's 90% done. Just switch the boxes. We got the got this piston off. We just got to torch off 3 of the bolts. We got this side all came off in one here. The other 3 we're going to torch off, but I was able to turn this piston and get it off with a bar. But we want that hanger because we'll need it when we put this piston on a different box. But we made, when we put this all together, we made these, no we did not. This came with the piston. We made everything else that it's, that holder's bolted onto. At least I think we didn't make that. 1 second. Nope, we did make this. We made this. Just this came with the piston. It wasn't too bad though. It was a pretty easy job to do this. Just time consuming with welding. Removed. Yep. He's gonna lift that up so when I drive away it doesn't catch a tire or anything else. Just, it's already going smooth. The only problem is I'm gonna go forwards and it's gonna kink me sideways. You gotta lift it. This box will get scrapped, but there's a bunch of dirt in there still, so we need an excavator to be able to clean it out, and we don't have one at the moment.
You get out?
Not really, but maybe. Yeah, right there. Okay. Oh, like a dream. And then the box that's gonna go on there, we're over by the sugar and stuff, is right over here. Anyone wants our old corn planter, it is for sale. It'll be cheap, don't worry. He just dropped it. But yeah, we are selling that. I just gotta list it online still. But that box right over there is gonna go on it. Well, I was walking. I drove back over there to grab the chains, which I got right here. And then by the time I get over here, I hear a thump, and he flips it on its side, and he scoops it up with a bucket. Apparently, he had no patience for chains, and I guess it's working, so it don't matter. We'll see how well those pinholes line up. Just dumb, but it works, so who cares? The plan was actually to rip the R apart this week. Oh, I'm grabbing these chains and put that PTO back together, but just hasn't been on the able to get done list. But the 86 is almost done. We got two more shims coming tomorrow, and then we'll be able to finish that up soon. I'll show you guys inside. So this stuff's getting washed slowly. This isn't washed yet, but Philip's washing right now. Wait. I don't know, we gotta pull that piston off still with the loader. Well, you might as well stop, you're sitting completely wrong.
I know, but we gotta measure everything, make sure they work.
You're good. Alright. This one, yeah, it's a little different, so we'll unbolt, or maybe we have to torch this housing off from there, but put this one on there for this box, and we'll take the other one off. We'll have to measure this stuff up, see if those pins...
Oh, fuck. It's gonna be a lot of work. Because this is not straight. Oh.
Might as well show you this 8670. We got it back together on this side. We had a... Well, I guess I did show it earlier that it was stripped and the center was apart. The old pieces over there, we had to get a whole new front diff because it grenaded the housing. You see silicone right here because there's shims, which are right here, but they're the old ones we kind of messed up getting it out. But they're half shims like this, so there's a little gap on both sides, and these pins were rusted. We wire wheeled it and anti-seized those holes, but it would let water in kind of on both sides, we're guessing. That's why it rusted, or because they didn't put anti-seize. So we just put a little silicone on both sides, maybe that helps. This cap that you see is for the auto steer, just the sensors in there. Honestly, I think it's kind of stupid how they have that designed, because it's a lot of work to pull that sensor out if you have to. Anyways, this side we got all cleaned up, and we got most of this back together here. And what was I gonna show you? Oh yes, Christoph has this fully apart because he wants to pull this drive shaft out. We're gonna change these two U-joints because there's a little bit of slop in these two, And because we have them here, since we ordered them, because we saw the slop and it's already is this far apart, he's gonna do it because you gotta pull that. You gotta pull these pins off because you gotta get that housing off. And we're already this far invested into it. We're like, we'll slap 2 new U-joints on this one. The other side wasn't bad at all. And it's heavy, so he's using the crane. We got the engine right there. It just showed up today for the Deere. We weren't gonna rebuild the old one, even though we wanted to because of how good it would start. Thing is clapped, and it was cheaper to buy a new one. So that's what we did. Well, it's used, has 2,000 hours on it, and it came out of a man lift, I think. Could be wrong, but I think it came out of a man lift. But you can see on this right here, we wire wheeled it. The Bobcat's here because we got to pull that engine out. It has hydraulic leaks, you can see too. And I think it's going to need a new radiator because I think that has a leak in it for the oil part. And and water because it was losing water too. But could be just a head gasket blew, but it don't sound good. Or don't sound good. So that's why that's in here. But we got to get those engines out of the way first. A lot of stuff to do. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you why this all had to get replaced. So this is the old one. This part of the housing's fine, but this is your kind of your main gear in there, and this bolts to here. You can see how it chewed all that up, and these pins came loose and just chewed it up. That gear right there, it is no longer with us. This was a washer, but the clutch packs in here were still in great shape. So what we're gonna do is, so this doesn't happen again, because we think the reason that this happened is one of our guys that was pushing liked to push the differential lock button, because this tractor with the duals, it would kind of, with the bucket only being 8 feet, it would catch grass on one side and tilt your sideways, and then it would spin out if you didn't hit the pile right. And slap the diff button and then it would catch and keep pushing, because it's pretty hard to stop this tractor. But you don't put a machine in diff lock while it's spinning. So what we're gonna do, and we did this on the old 8250 back in the day when I was Marcus's age, because I did the same thing because I was stupid as hell, and we fixed that problem so I couldn't do that anymore when I was his age. We disconnected the diff lock for the front end. This is the oil hose that supplies it, so we're gonna put a plug on this side on the new one and a plug on the hose. That way, there's still diff lock for the rear end if you need it in the fields or something. But you can't grenade this front end anymore. It worked on that 8250 that we used to have. We never had a front end blow up on it anymore because you couldn't lock it in like that. The 4-wheel drive will work just fine, and this right here was extremely expensive. So we don't want it to happen again. And that's how we're gonna fix it. Just did a bunch of measuring, figure out how we're gonna go with this. It has been a while since I recorded, but yeah, we're gonna have to cut this off. When we put this together, the other box was straight down rails. This one right here, you can see it's a kind of a triangle design, so it's not gonna pop in where we want. So this I can just cut off. It's just gonna take weight off, so that's not a problem. This, we might not have to move these technically, because the ones that are on there will fit right in there. It's just gonna have a little slop, so if we want to tighten it up, we'll figure that out when we get there. But the biggest problem is these hinge points are too far back, so we need to bring these hinges kind of right to here. See, there's a hump here. I'll have to fix that. So these are going to come to here, and the reason they're a little different, even though the boxes are the same, is the other box, the piston sat inside the box a lot more. It was a bigger cutout than this one. This one also might be a couple inches longer. It's not the same brand, but the biggest thing was the piston was more cut into the box here, so it kind of compacted it a lot more. So that is kind of the situation that we're dealt with, and it's not gonna make this job impossible. It's just gonna add some time to the project. And this thing cannot flip over. All the weight is on that side. The loader's still there, but it'll pop down a couple more inches. You can hear it crackling, but it can't fall this way. I got the first one. Basically, I torched it all the way around and I whacked it with the old sludge hammer here, and it's basically done. I actually one time cut it and it was moving after I hit it, and then right here on the front, this was coming with it because it was already cracked, so the steel wasn't holding good and didn't want to snap it. So it did not want to snap the last of the weld off because it was coming with the cracked steel. So I torched that a little bit more. We'll put that a little bit over there, out of the way. We'll cut this one off, and that way this one will be easy because I just gotta slap this back together, weld that all up, and then this is nice steel. We'll weld the hinge point exactly where it's gonna go. This one we'll have to cut out, heat this maybe, beat it down if I need to get it to weld either a new plate on, and then we can weld this on here. I don't know who welded this before, but it's coming off easy at least. I've seen better welds, but you know, at the same time, it held, so it's not the worst weld. A bad weld is one that doesn't hold. This is just a goober weld, but it did hold, so it's not the end of the world. And even good welds break, I can say that. We're bringing this thing closer. We'll move the wagon, that way I can weld these hinges on tonight still. Come this way. You can see me from right here. Wait, let me check the other side. Keep coming. Yeah, because we'll leave this here tonight because we need the loader, and I can get this welded. I have light from the shop. Now that I got the first, the pass all the way around with this on, I might as well show you guys my weld, since I was kind of made fun of who welded it previously. I only got the first pass done. So the underneath ain't the best because, well, you're welding upside down. So yes, I know that ain't gonna be up to a lot of people's power, but I think it's good enough. I'll lay a couple more beads on it all the way around. Got this all done. Some of it turned out better than others. I actually started wandering right here, which happens, but it's still welded good. And then underneath kind of did its thing, and for the most part ain't bad, but oh jeez, it ain't horrible. But you know, you're upside down welding, and I'm welding pretty hot, so it kind of started drifting, but I'm not too worried. Can't weld everything perfect, but I know it's gonna hold. Just gotta fix this up, and I'll do this one now. What I did here for this this top one right here, I cut out where it gets square. I didn't cut here, that way it still has the strength. I'll put this right here. I can bring it out, that way it's nice and flat, because this hinge point up here is only gonna sit about from my finger back. So what I'll do is I'll put this here, and I'll stick maybe a old bolt right there, and I'll weld it there. That way, where the hinge point sits, it's strong, and this rest of this is kind of just, that way I could put a flat plate there and weld on both sides. I got this as far along as I'm gonna get tonight. Put a bolt under there. I marked out, I gotta cut some of this old weld away right here and make it flat. So my hinge point's gonna sit right there. All my torque that would put right here on this plate, it can't bend it because you got a bolt underneath it. So it'll be nice and strong. So that is fixed.